Hello. Ah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I hear you.
All right, that's good. As long as we can communicate. That's kind of an important thing here, you know. All righty. Okay, we're beginning to get a few people show up. That's good. Everybody have a pretty good lunch?
Too early
Yep.
for lunch.
Too early?
Yes, sir.
What time is lunch?
3 o'clock.
Okay, are you doing like an intermittent fasting thing or something where you're
No, I eat breakfast right before our class at 11 o'clock. I eat breakfast around 10 o'clock and have a huge bowl of oatmeal with bananas and blueberries and strawberries and raspberries, and
okay?
that holds me till 3 o'clock.
Okay. All right. So do you eat 3 meals a day, 2 meals a day? What?
I usually just do 2 meals. Lunch is usually my big meal.
Okay.
So like today, it's going to be a huge bag of produce, which is it has broccoli, zucchini, kale, cabbage, beans, and I'm going to saute that and throw some tofu in it,
Mm-hmm.
and a little brown rice on the side, and that's going to be it for the day for me.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll probably have some turmeric and ginger tea tonight, and that will be it.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
What was that old commercial? Where's the beef?
Oh, come on now, Daddy-O.
Well, that's actually Bob.
Oh, Bob. Okay, Bob.
Yeah, it could be. I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
that's funny.
we could get into a whole debate about diet and stuff, but we won't because
You won't.
it could almost get like politics.
Oh, help us.
Yeah, there are two totally different, well, there's many different camps of thought about diet and stuff. And
Yeah.
even if you follow that stuff, really closely, there's, even in the scientific community, there's a lot of polarization around people who, eat, while they're promoting, mainly a vegetarian diet.
Yeah, plant-based, yeah.
Yeah, plant-based, some form of that. And then there are those who promote, more meat, or what they call, either carnivore or ketogenic diets.
Yeah.
And then there's everybody in the middle who's just confused and, don't really know what to eat.
Yeah.
But the only thing that both camps really agree on is that the problem really comes down to the processed food.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and that basically, if you go to the grocery store and you spend your time going up and down those aisles in the middle of the store, you're not doing yourself a favor. You need to shop on the outside, where the produce, the dairy, the meat, things like that, actual real food is, something that doesn't come out of a can or a box. So, yeah, it's interesting how they, it's always evolving, and there's a lot of studies actually on both sides saying that, they are right about, what the proper thing to eat would be. But, I think, yeah, you
eat whatever makes you feel good.
Right.
If meat makes you feel good, go for it.
Yeah.
If fruits and vegetables is your thing, have at it.
Yeah, or some mixture in between.
Or some mixture in between. That's correct.
Yeah, some of us are omnivores, and we take the attitude that we eat anything that doesn't eat us first.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and in my case, so far I've won.
That's funny.
My husband's doctor said if it tastes good, spit it out.
If it tastes good, spit it out. Yeah.
That'd be hard.
Yeah, there are those people who have that viewpoint as well. Yeah. Anyway, let's
Like I say, give me sugar, I'm happy.
give you sugar and you're going to be happy.
Yeah.
Okay, Bernice. If that works for you, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, some people think that, sugar is, well, and,
Oh, I know it's not good, but I love it anyway.
yeah. Well, I heard, and, it's commonly touted that sugar is 9 times more addictive than cocaine.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why people have such a hard time eliminating it from their diet,
Yes.
because they really like the taste of it. So, yeah.
Sugar's more affordable than cocaine, though.
Well, yes, they make it that way. Yes, they do. Okay. And lucky for people like, Kellogg's and, Mars candy and stuff like that, because it is.
I'm about the most expensive sugar I can find, so I will only eat a small slice.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Don't believe her.
Yeah, I don't know her that well, so yeah. But yeah, yeah. That whole sugar thing, that's a whole nother thing. Anyway, let's kind of get to the art thing here, and that's a sweet thing to talk about. You guys have been doing some good work, and I want to share some of it with you, show you a little bit about what some of the people who are participating in these classes are doing, and I think you'll enjoy it. Let me see if I can hit the right button here. Okay. All right, now the question being, okay, yes, we'll start here. Okay, everybody see a fat guy standing in front of a big house?
I see a guy.
I see a guy.
I see a guy.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's me actually, and that's in LaGrange. And one of the reasons that I went to LaGrange, other than to look at the art museum, was the house. I'm still looking for the house, and that's the house I found down there, and we'll see how that goes, But yeah, it's an interesting house. There's a story to it, but we'll share that at a different time. But we did this challenge thing, and I sent out a bunch of images and stuff, and where that's taken me, and I can show you a whole bunch of stuff, but I'm really only going to show you 2 pieces. And I'm going to start with this, and it's a drawing. And it was just a sketch, and it was a young woman who I saw, and I really liked her face. There was some kind of quality of, some kind of peaceful, tranquil feel to her. And so, I did a sketch of her, and then I took, and this is basically, just a study, okay, of a composition, for a painting. And the painting's title is called Halcyon Days. Anybody have any idea what that means?
Sounds like house in the day to me. I don't know.
Like what?
House in a day.
No.
It's not that. I'm just messing.
Yeah, house of the day. Well, okay. Yeah, I guess you could do that. But no. Okay, Halcyon. Halcyon was a character out of Greek mythology, and she was the daughter of a king who, had plans for her to marry some other prince or king or something like that. And he disappointed her greatly in the sense that she fell in love with a non-noble or royal person who was a soldier in his army. And as the story goes, he found out about it, didn't like the idea, so he had the guy killed and cut up into little pieces and then tossed into the ocean. When she found out about that, she was less than thrilled.
I bet she went fishing.
No, she actually went and threw herself off the cliff into the ocean and killed herself. Okay.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, the Greek gods being who they were, and always meddling in human affairs, and always interested in what was going on with us for some reason, decided to intervene. And so what they did is they resurrected her lover and her, and they turned them into birds, a particular type of bird called the kingfisher. And so they were able to be together, and kind of continue their love. But they were kind of magical in the sense that for 10 days a year, they would transform from these kingfishers into their human form and live along the shoreline, which is where kingfishers live. And the 10 days would always be at the end of summer and into the transition of fall, about right now, okay? And those are generally referred to as halcyon days, okay? And if the word halcyon was appropriated by the pharmaceutical companies, and they actually created a medication called Halcyon. And Halcyon is used, basically it's a sedative. So it's like, for people who are hyperactive and stuff, it calms them down, right? So what Halcyon means is basically it's kind of like reflecting on better days, or a calm and tranquil period of your life. Okay. So that's kind of the logic and the story behind the images. Okay, is finding that quiet place, and that seems to be for me kind of appropriate, because that's kind of where I'm at in life right now. Is I'm getting ready to retire, and I'm looking at trying to find a home and a place that I want to be. That's peaceful and tranquil. In my mind. So, anyhow, so this is as far as I've gotten with it, and I will be doing a painting, and I'm not real set on the composition right now. I'm still playing with that, but I will show you further progress. Okay. This is a piece. This is not mine. This is actually from one of the participants here. Surin, and he just did this piece recently, and he had it up on Facebook, but he asked me to give him a critique on it, and I thought that he had done a really nice job. If you begin to look at this, he's got nice atmospheric perspective in this. Notice how the trees and things across the lake go back and sit back in the distance, and the trees in the foreground come forward, and the figures, and the lighting and shadows. He's worked this out pretty nicely. Mm-hmm. If I had any kind of critical commentary, it's that the pattern that he set up here for his leaves and things, it's a little too consistent. I'd like to see things kind of bunched up and grouped together a little more irregularly, and it would begin to feel more like, an actual tree, and leaves. But a really nice piece. I'm not real sure how big this is, but he generally works in a medium to large, scale.
Is this an oil?
I'm not sure. I'm guessing that it is. Just looking at how the paint was laid down, it looks kind of more like oil paint than acrylic. So, But nice, pretty nice piece.
Mhm.
This is, an ongoing project for Richard Johnson, who, he's trying to learn a little bit about, faces and stuff like that. And
He's the same place as I. He's the same place I am. That's what I'm trying to do.
uh-huh,
I'm
yeah.
at that point.
But the interesting thing is, Bernice, is like every time, he goes a little bit further,
Right.
a little at a time, and little by little, these are beginning to look more human, right? And, it's just a matter of time and practice, and he's getting there, okay? And we could make, lots of comments, about how he might improve this. Like, for example, if he started using some range of value, he could separate out the side plane from the front plane, and begin to make it look a little more dimensional without really changing his line work or anything else. But it's just, incorporate a few values, a dark, a medium, and a light in there, and you'd begin to get more what we would call form out of it, right? But, seeing as how Richard, when he first started out over at Benson, he never claimed to be a painter or an artist or anything else. And, he's really come a long way. And now he's getting to the point where he's beginning to get more comfortable with at least attempting and trying to do really complicated things like people, right? So I want to applaud him on that. I thought that was a great effort on his part. Then we got Naomi, and Naomi's been busy as always. Naomi, are you here?
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. So you want to tell us about, your nude figure here?
Well, now that I'm looking at it, I see what's wrong. But
Now that you're looking at it, you see what's wrong.
yeah, her right breast, when I'm looking at it, it's looks like a stone. But I like the colors. That's it. I like the colors. I like her body, except the breasts need work.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Well, I guess my commentary would
Yeah.
be that, I like the composition. I like kind of where it's going. Yeah, anatomically, you could work some things out a little bit better. Like, for example, for me, the proportions of the head to the body seem to be a little off.
what? Her head's too big?
Her head's too small.
Oh, it's too small. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit too small. Yeah.
Okay.
What about the left shoulder?
The left shoulder,
Of the lady's left shoulder?
Yeah. Yeah.
left, yeah, it seems a little awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's kind of a bump sticking out
Right.
there.
Right.
And that's because you haven't really indicated the neck coming down in front of it,
Okay.
and
Uh-huh.
or the breast coming up and the chest in front of it. As
Okay.
far as the size, it might be a little bit large as well,
Yeah.
depending on what she's doing.
Uh-huh.
Then we got a lady in a red hat. And again,
That's nice.
yeah, your faces and your portraits and things are kind of coming together. You're softening them a bit, and you're not overworking. It's like, all the stuff in between. You're simplifying it, and that's good. The only thing I'd say here is when you're going to make an outline, right, or
Uh-huh.
an edge, either around the face. Put the pencil down, make a line. Don't go back and inch along
Okay.
and make several strokes like that, because
Uh-huh.
that kind of says that, well, I'm really not very sure about what
Uh-huh.
I'm doing here. Okay. Where if you just made a line, even if it's not perfect and everything,
Leave it alone.
yeah, it says basically, okay, this is what I saw.
Okay.
All right. Yeah,
Anything
Barbara.
else?
Yeah, Barbara Bradley, called that restating, and yeah, that basically just kind of tells you, well, I'm not really quite sure where that's at. Okay.
Where is this, on the hat you're talking about?
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I
along,
see what he means.
yeah,
right
along
there.
the hat here,
Yes.
but also
I
in
do
here,
that.
like
Yeah.
along the, well, a lot of us do it,
Right.
Okay.
but yeah, it kind of, it sends a different signal than you probably would have
Uh-huh.
intended, okay?
Who's
Thank
Barbara
you.
Bradley?
Pardon?
Who's Barbara Bradley?
Barbara Bradley was
In your class?
No. Barbara was the director of the illustration department at the Academy of Art.
Oh, that one. Yeah,
That
I know her well.
Yeah, well, she was the one who I suggested the book on drawing.
Yeah, I
For
bought
you?
that book. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Did you ever take a look at that book, Larry?
No, I didn't.
You probably need to go do that. How to Draw People by Barbara
I'll run over
Bradley.
to the Benson Center and grab it.
No, just go online. You can look at it online. Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's out there.
What's the last name, Bradley?
Yeah, Bradley. Yeah, Barbara Bradley. But the book that she published was called How to Draw People. Okay. And it's really a very good book, as far as learning to draw the figure. And she was an illustrator. She did a lot of drawings of kids and people, but again, her strength was kind of capturing the movement and making the figures feel alive and kind of fluid, right? But yeah, she would talk.
I have a question for Naomi.
Yeah.
Why do you outline everything?
Right. I should stop doing that.
I'm not saying you should stop. I'm just wondering why.
I don't know, but I should stop doing that as much as I'm doing it. Yeah. I don't know.
I think
Okay.
most people think it helps them pull the figure or pull whatever you're drawing in front of the background easier to read. That's the focal point and the closest thing to you
Mhm.
when you outline it like that. That's what some people will tell you anyway.
If I can chime in here, that's actually a very good question, John, and it opens up a whole
Can of worms.
discussion all into itself. If you look at art over the many centuries, and particularly during, like, say, from the Impressionist era forward, all right, line and the use of line in a painting has been used in many different ways. And if you look at any of the decorative art movements like Art Nouveau, the Secessionist movements, the arts and crafts movement, things like that, line was really critical and kind of important because it really was seen more as a design element, in the process of painting. If you get into realism, right, you just about find where most realist painters don't use outline, okay, at all. It's edge, and value. It's something light against something dark, something hard against something soft. But when you get into, contemporary painters and modern artists like Matisse, Pablo Picasso, even, some of the, like, really contemporary painters like right now doing figurative work, a lot of them will use line, but they use it very specifically, and it's mainly to create movement in a composition, and they'll make and really use that line as one of the key design elements in the painting, They don't just outline everything. So we can have a long discussion about that. But Naomi, I think it's a good idea for you to think more about where you want to put lines, okay? Like, for example, in this, right? You probably could have done without a line, like maybe here in the abdomen, right? On the front of the
I
stomach.
shouldn't have put the line there?
Yeah, you could maybe leave that line out, or the
Okay.
top of the knee. Where you really needed the line was, back here, on the
Uh-huh.
back of the leg, maybe under here where you've got it, like under the buttocks, on the underside of the hand. You don't really need it on the top line of the hand, right?
Okay, the top lines, I don't need, okay.
Well, depending on where the light is from,
I
right?
see what you mean.
Yeah, if the light's coming from here, why would you have a dark outline
Right,
at back, right?
right.
You might find a darker outline where, either two parts of the body are pressing against each other, or the body's pressing against a surface where she's sitting, right?
Okay,
Yeah, but you're probably not going to find a hard line, anywhere like at the top of the leg or the back or down the back side of the arm, particularly if light's coming from that left side toward the right.
okay. I
Okay.
see what you mean. Yeah,
Looks like it started out as a gesture.
Yeah.
Could have been, yeah. But then you make a decision, do you want
Yeah.
to emphasize that?
right.
Or is it something you can kind of let go of and just let kind of disappear back into the
What
color?
about her behind? I think it's too big.
I like it.
Well, the proportion of it?
Yeah,
Yeah, the proportions, if you look at the body itself, the body seems to be very, very long
uh-huh,
in comparison to the size of the head again. You make small heads and big bodies.
okay. My heads are too small. Okay.
Yeah, for your
Small
bodies.
heads, okay.
Breasts are too saggy.
Oh, I thought the breasts were good.
Well, they're almost down to her
I thought they were
stomach.
perky.
Well, actually, yeah, where they sit, on the frame of her body, not really. Okay. I think
Yeah,
they're,
Naomi, I got perky breasts.
Oh,
thank
I
you for
like
that, Larry.
blue.
That's more than we really need to know.
okay. I'm learning a lot today. I'm
Okay.
really,
Like, okay, and this one. See, you didn't use that outline so much.
but it's
And
still too much outline.
And those are perky.
thank you, Larry.
Welcome, boss.
But, and see, they're not as dominant, so you get to see kind of the figure and it holds together.
Yeah, yeah,
In this piece, again, you've broken it up into the color,
Yeah.
and you've really only used the outline really up here around,
Last one too.
the front line of the face and maybe under the breast right here. And so, again, it's not that distracting. It doesn't really kind of, in fact,
okay.
because it is outlined, it pulls your
Child.
focus into that area.
Child.
I
Yes.
see what you mean, yeah.
What do you think? Didn't the head look a lot better to you in that one that's just before this one?
Yeah, the head
Well,
is the problem.
we haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're kind of going up.
the head I see is the problem
Yeah.
now.
But like the proportion of the head here to the figure is better.
It looks too small again.
No, the size of this head is actually pretty good in comparison
Okay.
to the scale of the
Okay,
body.
how many heads to a body would you say?
Well, it's basically supposed to be a ideal, right?
Yeah,
It's 4 heads to, say, the line of the crotch. Okay?
with the crotch.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So that basically, gives you like 1 head for the size of the head.
Uh-huh,
And then the torso from the crotch to really like just a little under the chin would be about 3.
okay,
Yeah. And then you get just a little bit of space there for the neck, right?
uh-huh,
But, basically just a rough estimate, about 4 heads, from
Okay,
the
4
top of the head down to the crotch. Now, what that means is that's on a standing figure. And a standing figure is generally, if you want to make it like normal proportion, about 7.5 heads tall. If you want to make it a heroic proportion, then you make it 8 or 9, okay, heads tall.
Okay, no, I like the 7.5 as a normal person.
Yeah, that's kind of, yeah, for average, okay?
Mhm.
Now sculptors will use those proportions again, particularly if they're really trying to, again, capture sort of that drama of movement, things like that. They'll kind of go to those, what they call heroic proportions.
Which is how many heads for heroic?
Generally 8. Yeah. 8,
Oh, okay.
8 to 9. Okay. So the head.
How about the David? What is the David, would you say?
Well, actually, because of when you're talking about Michelangelo's David,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because there are only about 5 of them, okay, by different artists. But Michelangelo's David, the head is actually, well, the body is only probably about 7, but the head is actually enlarged, and so are the shoulders and the arms, because it was meant to be viewed from standing down below it. And because it's such a forced perspective, he enlarged those portions of the body so that it looked more in perspective, to somebody standing down looking up at it. Okay. Yeah, and anyway, he did that intentionally. And when you back away from it and it looks a bit of it's out of proportion because he's exaggerated that upper part of the body. Okay. Now, Bernice asked about this or had a comment about it. Bernice, what did you have to say? You like this face? Bernice?
Wait a minute. I didn't mean that one. I meant the one that's 2 below that one.
2 below it?
Yeah, that's the one we had right there.
You mean this one?
Yeah,
Okay.
doesn't that head look correct to you?
Yeah, the proportion of that one is pretty good.
Oh,
Compared to some of the earlier ones.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like that. I just want
Yeah, but like this one, if you compare this to, say, this figure.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Her head is too small.
Yeah, the head's
I see it
considerably
now.
smaller. Okay.
Yeah.
But the proportions of this head to the body and this head to the body look really pretty good. They're pretty close. Okay. And then, of course, we have this lovely painting. Okay. And Naomi?
Yeah.
You're getting better, darling. I think this is,
Thank you. But I'm trying to grow, so hands are difficult. So I'm forcing myself to do more hands.
okay. But to date, I would say that this is probably the best human head you've done.
Oh, thank you.
And hand, for that matter of fact.
Yeah, the hands.
And expression. I mean, there's a really nice kind of expressive feeling to this.
Oh, thank you. I'm really painting every day now.
That's good. And it shows. It's working for you, dear.
Yeah.
Keep doing it.
I guess practice is very important.
It is. Yes. You never get good at something by not doing it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, then we have this fellow right here. Okay? All right. He's very cute, but you kind of going back to your own ways, and there's a lot of outlines and stuff, and it doesn't help to make him feel like his nose and stuff comes forward. That whole thing feels a little flat in there. Can you see that?
Okay, so how can I change that?
Get rid of the lines.
The lines flatten out the drawings?
Yeah,
the paint?
these divisions between these color areas.
Yes.
Yeah, they if it's black outline, it's the same value as this, right? And as this.
Okay.
And as
instead
this.
of the lines, I should do the values.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use color and value. You don't need to outline each shape. Okay. And it will soften it, but it will also, then you can use color and things to move parts of that face forward and let other parts recede.
Okay.
Okay?
Well,
Just like-
thank you very much. I learned a lot today.
Yeah, just like you would on a human face. Okay?
Yeah.
So speaking of
Okay.
human faces, we have a non-human face here.
Oh, look at that.
Yes. look
That
at
is, who
that.
did
That's
that?
nice. I like that.
You can't guess who did that?
Daddy,
Lawrence.
Lawrence, of course.
Oh,
The
that
doodling,
is
the flower
gorgeous.
doodling.
Yeah, it has Lawrence all over it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's
But
a cat.
it's nice. It's nice the fact that he chose to do a cat instead of a woman this time.
beautiful.
Yeah. And with that decorative kind of pattern. Yeah, it's kind of like a cat is, kind of, looking through the plants or the flowers, for something to mess with.
Oh,
Yeah,
the devil made me do it.
Uh-huh. But yeah,
Beautiful.
it's really a very nice
Interesting.
drawing, Larry.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and touch it up with a little watercolor and see if I can ruin it.
Yeah. I don't know that I would do that. I would let it be
Do
as it is.
another one.
But now
Do
if
another
you
one.
if you want to do it in watercolor,
Yes.
do another piece,
Yeah.
adding or building color rather than outlining everything. Okay? Larry?
Yeah, I'm listening. I still had visions of, well, I was just thinking about just touching up the eyes in one color and just sort of let it go with that.
It's your piece of artwork, but yeah, I would, you could probably pull that off and that'd be fine. But I would hate you to lose, all of the
Oh.
delicacy and intricacy of,
Beautiful.
your design of your floral border or whatever you want to refer to that as. Okay.
I call that doodling. Sorry.
Okay,
Oh,
you're
I
doodling.
think that should be in our show.
Okay.
The show we're going to have, that one.
Yeah, your flower doodling.
Yeah, I call it doodling.
Okay.
I saw it on YouTube how to pass the time away by doodling.
Mhm.
And it was people drawing leaves and flowers, and I just sort of got them crammed in together.
Well, there is a certain amount of design and arrangement to them. Yeah. So I think you did okay.
Thank you.
Keep doing it and try to make
I'm
it.
trying something really different today that you can look at on Wednesday, but
Okay.
it's really, it gives me a headache. It really does. I'm having headaches from doing it.
Why do it?
What you're working on now, or
Well, I got so far and I don't want to quit because I've gotten so far.
okay.
And my son says he likes it a lot, but I'll
Okay.
push on. I'll finish it.
Okay.
You'll see what I mean when you see it.
Okay. I look forward to it. All right. So this is a piece by Lady, and this is a poured painting, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Yeah, that would be my guess. And other than the color, it looks, very reminiscent of the painting we looked at this morning, right? Another
Yep,
poured painting. Yeah. Now the thing is, and the interesting thing about poured paintings is you really get this whole kind of modeled, it almost looks like stone of some
Yeah.
sort, or something organic, kind of natural, right? And it's really, really beautiful. It's a lovely piece. Now, is this on one of your cardboard pieces?
No, actually, that's on a canvas.
On a canvas, okay.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. And what size is this?
Let's see. That's 16 by 20. I don't remember. Is it? I don't remember. I meant to write the size down, but I forgot what it is. It's
Okay. Well, it could be a 16 by 20, but
But
now,
it's 20 by 14, or I don't remember.
yeah. Well, if it's 20, then it will probably be 16.
Okay.
That would be a standard size, 16.
Okay.
Now, the thing is, this seems to be, when you took the photo of it, it seems to be leaned way back.
Yeah, the little easel that it's on tilts back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when
Yeah.
you take pictures of things like that, try to square them up in your camera frame, right? So that you get more of a feeling of the dimensions of the piece.
Mhm.
When you
Okay.
shoot them like this, they're really kind of forced and distorted. Okay.
Mm. Okay.
So yeah, we kind of talked about things like you did really nicely with this one. See, it feels like it's sitting up and it's rather square
Okay.
in the frame.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, this is very interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's definitely different.
Beautiful.
So yeah, and it has to do with food, which lady likes. She's all kind of
Good
into different foods and things like that.
Mhm.
And of course, she's got female figures in there.
Mhm.
And now this looks like a piece. Did you draw this? It looks kind of African in.
Actually, that piece, I have this beautiful piece of fabric
Mhm.
that has a lot of African heads on it,
Okay.
and it has the border of it is really, and I'm going to put it in something. It has a whole bunch of like African dolls and masks, and it's really pretty. So I just took the fabric and I put it on my copy machine and made a copy of some of the masks and cut it out.
Oh,
So that's actually a copy of the fabric, part of the fabric.
All right. Yeah, it definitely looks African in origin, and
Yeah.
and it's it's a nice element. It's different enough
Yes.
from some of the photo elements and stuff. And then for the background, is that like kind of a sponged, background?
Once again, my balloons rule.
Okay. Yeah. Kind of. Yeah.
So it's just I was watching an artist on YouTube, and she was saying how she starts all of her work, her abstracts, with a dark background.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I said, well, that makes sense. And since I have a vat full of raw sienna, I
Oh.
started it with raw sienna and
Well,
added green
Question:
and
Are
orange.
you talking about raw sienna or burnt sienna?
No, this one says raw sienna.
Raw. Okay.
Yeah.
Because raw is kind of a gold or yellowish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I painted the back of, I painted the first layer, and then I added the red and orange, yellow and green with the balloons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the meaning of the lemon on the woman's head?
Well,
That's
again,
what we know.
I call the piece lemon head because it just went perfect. That's what I call that piece, lemon head. And again, I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables and things like that.
You got
And
a
so
vegetable on the
actually,
left, David.
this piece is I'm hanging this in my kitchen.
Mhm.
And so I'm gonna do some more of those pieces like that.
Okay. So you're calling it lemon head.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But what does that kind of mean to you when you say, what are you trying to imply by lemon head? Are you
Well, lemon head used to be my favorite candy. So if you remember the candy lemon heads,
I don't, but okay.
okay, real sour candy.
Okay.
And lemons have such a cleansing effect on your body. If you start your day with warm lemon water, they claim that's good for you. So lemons are just good for you. So
Yeah.
and it just is so perfect on that lady's body. So I just called it lemon heads.
Okay. All right. So it's not really a statement about maybe her personality or the type of person that she is or anything like that.
Nope.
All right. Yeah, because lemons can be a little bit sour.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then is this an aloe vera plant right here or
That is an agave.
agave? Okay.
Yes. That's an
All right.
agave.
Okay. Same
And
same basic family, but okay. Agave.
Yes.
So she's got something sweet and she's got something sour.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Bernice, instead of using sugar, I use agave to sweeten my things with.
Mhm.
Oh, I've also tried that.
Okay.
Okay.
It's fine. Mhm.
And then you have a woman pilot who was African American, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Bessie Coleman. That was an actual stamp,
Uh-huh.
And I used to, well, besides stealing stamps in college, I used to collect stamps.
Okay.
And so this was one of the Black Heritage Series stamps that I got years and years ago.
Right.
And again, I just, I photocopied it and blew it up a little bit so it's larger than the normal postage stamp.
Oh, I like that.
I have those stamps too.
Very
So,
nice.
so do me a favor, okay?
Yeah.
Betty? Don't steal any more stamps, please.
Well, I'm out of that business. I don't steal stamps anymore.
Okay,
That
good.
was back in the college days. in the
Yeah,
70s.
I don't want to go in and see your a poster of you in the post office.
In the
okay?
post office.
Yeah, they're looking for you. 'cause you went and
Yeah,
stole a bunch of stamps.
it might be next to Larry's picture.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah.
Those were her stamp collecting days.
Yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, okay, and then you've got this piece, okay?
Yeah.
And so tell us a little bit about this.
Okay, so that is my my swipe picture. Again, with the pouring technique.
Mm-hmm.
What I've learned is that I don't, with the pour painting, you have to use a lot of paint,
Mhm.
and that is not frugal for me. I just think that's just a waste of paint. And so, and then you're supposed to flood the canvas with paints and put all these paints and have paints go. It doesn't make sense to me. And so I came across of figuring out how to do like a swipe with not using a lot of paint.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did have to put a nice bit amount of white on the background, and the same paints that were in the first one I did were the exact same combination, but they came out so differently. So I just put a few drops of the colors,
Yeah.
and I put in the white that I actually did the swipe with the medium to make the little cells. And I just swiped it with a plastic piece of a cutting board, a little made out of plastic, and I use it as my swipe, and that's it.
It looks like glass. It looks transparent,
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
like a glass piece. Mhm.
Yeah.
okay.
Well,
I like
wanna
it. I
save
like it a
money.
lot.
If you want to save money on paint, use ketchup and mustard.
right.
Both of them stain like crazy.
Yes, it does.
Well,
Is this
well,
acrylic?
when I
Yes, it is acrylic.
when I looked at this at first, I was looking at sort of the texture of it. Did you
Mhm.
sprinkle salt in there, perchance?
No, I didn't. I used a hair serum that you
Uh-huh.
put in your hair to repair split ends, and I just add that to the acrylic paint, and so it gave those that texture. You can almost feel it when you put your hand over it.
Okay. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
because it's some kind of like an oil resist or something.
Yes, yes.
Right. Yeah, I was kind of wondering about that because it definitely has that kind of separating kind of feel to it. And, it actually kind of reminds me of like Chinese or Japanese, like brush painting in a way.
Mm,
It has a similar feel to that.
yes.
Yeah, which, by the way, the next piece that we have is by June.
Nice job.
Huh?
This was a very nice job.
Thank you.
But when you look at Lady's piece right here, and then you look at these fish, they feel kind of similar, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
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 Different medias, but just kind of the loose kind of free brushstroke, and how it moves. So, yeah, that's kind of what reminded me of. Is June here?
Very nice.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. You showed up. Good. Yay. All right. So tell us a little. Now these are on rice paper, right?
Yes,
Okay. Yeah.
it is the rice paper.
Okay. Yeah, and they look like rice paper because rice paper, when it takes ink and watercolor and stuff, has a very different look from like regular watercolor paper, right? It's fuzzier. It kind of diffuses, and the way the brush drags across the fibers and things are very different. And it gives us it really, really lovely look to it that, with a lot of watercolor papers you can't get. You know, so this is
I bought this from China.
I
I bought the rice paper from China.
Okay.
I bought it, I bring back. I
Okay.
bought back from China.
Yeah, and it's nice. It's nice rice paper, and you know you did some lovely fish on it. So
I love that fish that's on the top left.
yeah, right here.
Where, right
This one?
there. I love that one.
Yeah, it's almost like a calligraphy type.
Yes, I love that one.
Yeah, where these look more like fish, this is more like a symbol or a chop. So is it now? Did you intend this to be more like a letter form than a fish, or what was the idea with this one?
I just learned use the like a brush and use the ink and the Chinese ink. Because this is if water too much, you just all out. And so you have to control very carefully.
Right. Yeah. No, it's not like watercolor paper that you can wet and then drop color into, because the rice paper is much more absorbent, you know, than just the regular watercolor paper.
Yes.
And then you have your lovely flower with your leaves and things.
Oh, that's pretty. I like that.
Yeah.
But this one, this didn't use just use like it's newspaper, the kind.
Newsprint?
Not right. Not rice paper. If you use rice paper, is hard to maybe more hard to control.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a really nice piece, you know, and if it's on like newsprint, that's really too bad. Because unfortunately, newsprint isn't going to last real long. You know, in the next 10 years or so, that paper is going to begin to just kind of crumble and fall apart, unless you know, take steps to preserve it, which means that if you like the piece, go ahead and get it in a frame with a mat and some glass, and make sure that there's archival paper, you know, or board as a backing and as a mat, because
you have to do that so you can keep longer.
Right, because if you put like a inexpensive mat on it, a lot of those have their wood pulp paper, so they have acids in them, and they'll eat up the paper in between very quickly. Okay, so you know, because this is newsprint, you're going to have to get a better quality mat and a backing board. They're both going to have to be archival to help preserve this. Okay.
Yes.
Otherwise, you know, the whole thing will just kind of fall apart on you. So I know. And it's a lovely drawing, you know. Like I said, it's a shame that it's not done on rice paper, because rice paper is archival. Rice paper will last like a really long time. You know, we're talking, you know, several hundred years.
I love it.
Rice paper will hang around. So
that's a good one.
Huh?
I love that. That's a good one.
Yeah, it is. It's a nice piece. And, you know, these, like little chicks or whatever. Okay.
Are those little Nikes in front of them?
They could be little Nike swish.
So the Nike symbol?
Yeah. A little swish. Yeah. Now, June.
Yeah.
You know, when you do things like this, and I was talking to Lady about it too, you know, don't lay your work down like this. Go ahead and, you know, stick it on the wall or something like that, and take a photograph of it, because of the angle that you're taking.
Oh yeah, it'll make different. I know.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, you know, really get it up on a wall or something, or vertical when you take a picture of it.
Then took the picture, right?
Right.
Then take the picture. Okay.
Yeah.
Was that on a paper towel?
Yeah. What kind of paper
this
is this on?
Just a newspaper.
I see the cut edges, like it was on a roll at one time.
Did you cut that with like a pair of pinking shears, or is it like on a roll that you pull off?
Somebody did it, and I didn't do it.
Oh, somebody did it, you didn't do it. Okay.
Yeah, I just used this paper.
Okay. All right. And then we have the shrimp.
The shrimp.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and these are really nicely done. And again, this is on some kind of different paper. What kind of paper is this on?
This is supposed to be rice paper.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And is the rice paper, is it a white background, or did you stain it in some way to add color to it?
I just put the frame, but I didn't take the. Suppose I did put the maybe white color.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't put it.
Yeah.
I just so this is have the color like a flower.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you put a mat on this, then you'd have to get a bigger frame for it.
Yeah. I didn't have it. I just put it right up.
Okay. All right. Then we have John. John, you here?
I'm here.
Okay. So I'm gonna show his paintings, both of them, pretty quickly here, and I'm gonna go back and forth between them because I want you guys to look at the difference, between, even though it's the same painting, he did something, to the last one that he didn't do to the first. Okay. So, that, let me blow that up a little bit. That was his original painting that he had sent in. Okay. And if
We saw the other day.
Pardon?
That's the one we saw the other day.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. I think he did do something to this one. I think
There I added the pink wash that you had suggested.
right. Yeah, just in the middle ground at that point, right?
Right.
Looks good.
Yeah, and then you came back, and then you added. Did you add the pink wash up in here?
Okay, no, this is the first one. The other
Okay.
ones is
Oh, it is.
this. So you can see the pink
Mm-hmm.
in that. So that has the pink wash.
Okay. Yeah, but
And
yeah, now it's grayer.
correct.
Yeah. See, that's not as gray. That's grayed down that middle ground.
Yeah.
And you went a little bit over the flowers and things back here, didn't you?
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Yeah, because all of that's gotten softer. So now it's all
Right.
sitting back. Now you need to do something similar up here. Okay.
Okay.
Now you don't have to make it lighter. You could actually make it darker by having probably a stronger mixture of that pink where there's, not as much water in it.
Okay.
And no white or anything in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just this kind of diluted red wash. Again, would really kind of gray those trees down and get them to sit back so that, again, the intensity of the color up in here would really pop forward. Okay?
Okay.
So, yeah, I think you need to take it just a little bit further.
Okay.
All right. Then we have this lovely piece, which...
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah. I thought you did really, really nicely on. Now...
That's mine. I've been working on this for over 2 weeks. And
Yeah, that's not mine. That's not mine.
Oh, this is Jean's.
Oh, it's beautiful. The water is beautiful.
I'm sorry, I have it mislabeled. Okay. Yeah, so this is Jean's. Yeah, you're handling that really nicely, Jean.
I'm getting to the point where I'm not sure how to do the water falling. Because I have to alleviate some of the white and make it look like it's coming down to the left.
Yeah, I wouldn't, you're talking about right in here, or are you talking about over here?
Both places. And that's not been touched that much.
Yeah, frankly, I would not mess with them. I'd leave them alone.
You would leave them alone?
Yeah. No. I mean, I get the idea that, you got water going over the fall and that it's kind of frothy and moving. I think if you took more of it out, you'd begin to not quite read it as much as a waterfall.
Well, the white just looks so, in the piece, looks so white. You know, you tell you that it is the white paper.
Yeah.
But it looks, so white compared to the rest of it.
Mhm. Well, I mean, if it's really bothering you, then what you can do is you can make like a very, very, very pale wash of, say, the gray or the blue, and just kind of eliminate a lot of the white, but be very selective about it. Kind of think about, where do I really want those kind of sparkles and highlights in the water,
Right.
and you know, again, leave those out. Okay. And then just tone down the rest a little bit. Okay. But I mean, it's a really lovely piece.
It's funny because when you showed the piece by the water, you know, you said it was so calming, and I have been working on this thing for so long, so I had to put it aside for a while.
Okay. Well, I like what you're doing. You know, I mean, the value contrast and everything works pretty well. I mean, your stronger values are really kind of right in here,
Right.
and your sharper edges. Everything else out here is a little bit softer, which you would kind of expect to see if this is going to be the focal point. And then your trees back here, again, you've kept really pretty soft, with the exception of this area, like right in here.
Yes.
And, you know, you could go back in and kind of just soften that down a little bit, or not. You know, I mean, it's not one of those things that really stand out that much to you. But yeah, just, and the way that you're using color and kind of being inventive with color, rather than, you know, making green trees and everything back here. You've got pinks and purples and blues and blue greens. And all those colors kind of fit together, and they kind of make this more grayed down sort of atmospheric area of the painting. So all of that's working really well for you. Okay.
That's a 16 by 20 piece. That's about the biggest I've done in a while.
Okay.
What time of day is this? Looks like either early morning or late.
I don't know. I just had a photo of rocks and water, and I put my own color in it, interpretation of color. For no time of day at all, just for color.
Yeah. Well,
It's very nice.
Yeah, and to me, and you know, probably a lot of, it doesn't look like the middle of the day. It looks like either early morning or evening.
Yeah.
You know, when the light is beginning to change. So, but yeah, it's really very nice piece. Okay. Now I've credited, this is yours as well, Jean, right?
Yes, that's upside down.
Oh, is it?
I thought it looked upside down.
Okay. Well,
This is a 5 by 7 that I started out, and it was had taken a couple of photographs that you sent in the challenge.
Yeah.
And I did that as a first thing for placement. There's no pencil line in it at all. It just was watercolor. And then one of the next ones that gets darker, because I threw I don't know, try to do a kind of more abstract. Well, that's the last. No, that's an acrylic. That's the last one I did with that.
Are you saying this one?
It's that one. Yeah.
Okay.
Just on top of it, I don't know. Just trying to get more loose, I guess, is or more instead of how can I put just more abstract with the piece, with just with the color.
Yeah. Well, this piece, and it's kind of really hard to see, you know, because
it's 5 by 7. That's the tape on the side here.
Yeah, we've got the background and everything around it. So, you know, if you took this piece
sideways, it's got to do another flip.
Oh, do we? Okay. You know, if you took this piece and you cropped it, okay, now it could look more like reflections and stuff.
Tape on the bottom.
Okay.
That's the sky at the top.
Yeah, but if you crop it a little bit tighter, you know, then you really would have a very, very nice abstract painting, because there's some really nice surfaces.
Well, I didn't have the tape off. It was still wet, but I said, well, I'd photograph it so I'd remember, you know, how the sequence was.
Okay. All right. Well, you know, you can
tell down that way. I could put a mat over it and, you know, make it smaller or.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, and then you said this is the last piece, right?
That's the last one,
That's
yeah.
the one I like.
The one with the ibis,
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so you see, you know, again, you know, this is working pretty nicely, you know, as far as this area moving forward, this area kind of staying back. You know, you didn't get any like really, really heavy, strong darks back here. So the contrast up in here is a little bit more. So it begins to kind of push and pull some space for you. And that's kind of where you want to be. Okay?
That's a winner.
this is a board, 11 by 14 board. The other, I started out with the 5 by 7s, and I just got, said I
Okay.
tried on the board.
Yeah, there's another version of it. And then how about this one?
Yeah, well, that was also from one of your pieces, and this was taking the paint and putting areas, painting areas of color.
Okay.
And that's what I tried. And the white is where I took the end of the brush
And scratch through it.
right, just
Yeah.
for the, I don't know, just trying to be looser with the, perhaps not quite as, how can I put, just, and I'm more abstract than I usually paint.
Yeah, but that's, I mean, you've got the idea of the technique down, you know, pretty well. So, yeah, I'd like to kind of see you, you know, go more places with this and try some new things, okay?
By new things, you mean the same scene or just anything?
No, I just, again, you know, just incorporate the techniques, you know, laying down the paint loosely, cutting, scratching back through it, and, you know, taking like plastic wrap, for example, and bunching it up and kind of squeezing it and kind of create different textures and things with it. Again, you know, I just want you to kind of play and experiment with what paint will do, you know, on different surfaces, right? Because some surfaces you're going to be able to move it around more, you know, like a canvas that's been primed and stuff, versus, say, if you did it on a piece of watercolor paper, right?
Well, the first few were watercolor paper. And this one is, I think this one, I'm not sure if this is acrylic on paper, I think. I'm not sure. Because when I start painting over things, if
I had to make a guess, I'd say this looks more like canvas because of the texture of it. Yeah, so it's either, you know, like a stretch canvas board.
No, it was a canvas board because that's what I had loose. I don't have a small stretch canvases anymore.
Okay. Then we have
another
one. Yeah, and
that's also
again, I need to move it.
Do you need to turn it?
Yeah, like that?
Yeah, like that.
Okay.
Right. See, sometimes I need direction.
Well, the red trees are at the top, and that was done with. I took a plastic card and swiped some of the paint on. This is, you know, on this to get a thicker effect in places.
Yeah, well, it definitely has, you know, a reflective quality to it. Kind of like, you know, you're at a water's edge and
yes, that's it.
You know, reflecting these colors down into it.
Right.
So, you know, that part of it's working pretty well. Okay. Okay, we kind of looked at that one, but I've got it upside down.
Yeah. That's funny, when I took the picture, it came up upside down in my print, and I don't know why.
Yeah, which is why it's upside down here. Because I didn't change it. I figured you send it to me the way you wanted it. So.
Well, the funny thing is, I changed it and sent it to you right side up, but when it went up to you, it went back. It reverted back.
Huh. Okay.
That's really weird. This is the one I got the red trees from. I just pushed it up more instead of having it there. I shifted.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some nice things with the color, you know, and kind of how loose and fluid everything feels up there. So, all right, so let's see, next. Okay, so this is by Richard, or no, this is Elon. I'm sorry. And
I'll tell you what, it's, I always go back to collage. I did some more work on it and I send you another email.
Okay.
It started, I'll tell you what, I had a family issue here. I put, instead of those statues, I put the naked ladies that you put as idea.
Ah.
So it was a different combination, but in same principle. But my wife didn't like the pornography side.
Ah, okay.
So I took them, I sketched them out, and I redid the painting with statues that I found online and kept the scenery like you sent that to us.
Okay.
And did my regular kindergarten level collage work.
Yeah, well, I can tell you there's nothing kindergarten about this, okay? So, yeah, you've got a nice composition here, and I don't know what it would have looked like with the figures, but I'm sure it was probably, pretty nice.
I'll send you a picture.
Oh, okay, of the figures, yeah. But it's interesting, that you brought that up because, it's all in the viewer's mind as to how you see that. Some people see a nude figure and they think pornography. Other people see a nude figure and they think art.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's tough out there. There's a lot of people who criticize, and don't like, nude figures and things like that. And, okay.
That's why I got the nickname, the Dirty Old Man, here at the complex.
Ah, okay. All right.
And I just said, well, you don't appreciate art. They said, we know pornography when we see it.
I see. Okay. Well, but, my answer to that is, well, the pornography is in your mind. So.
Not entirely.
Yeah. Well, it is. It's the way they see it or choose to see it. So, anyway, this is Bob's pornography of water birds.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Okay, Bob, you want to tell us about your pornographic water birds?
Okay, yeah, they're both nude, by the way, only in feathers.
They are. They are.
So,
They're not wearing anything but the feathers they came with.
that's exactly true. That's right.
That's right.
They're nundy-pundy, as my wife used to say.
Okay.
Anyway, basically, I found, these old windows at there was a shop on Canton Highway that had this kind of stuff in it. And I think I bought two of them for like $5.
Okay.
They're about 4x2. And I was experimenting and wanted, trying to figure out what to do with them. And finally I came up with got some paint that you can put on glass, which is very transparent. And I mean, I don't like the paint at all. But anyway, I just decided the one I did previous to this, which is in my barn and it's hiding someplace, but it was like a stencil of tulips. And I'll see if I can find it here and take another picture. But anyway, I started with that one and said, well, let's go a little bit farther. And this is my farther. And you can use this thing, if you want to divide a room or something, or a little, like a counter from another place, this kind of thing you might want to use.
Okay. Yeah, it gives you kind of a decorative element.
Right, and it is transparent. You can, I mean, it's.
What I want to ask you is this the glass paint that you fire in the oven to preserve it?
No, this is. I couldn't put this in the oven anyway to do that.
Yeah. Well, I meant, is it the type?
No, it's not. No, it's not.
It's not, okay.
No.
Because usually it'll flake off or eventually flake off.
It probably will. This is my Rembrandt, which will only last 10 years.
Worth more.
Yeah. But anyway, I had fun doing it.
Okay.
You can put a fixative on that or something to preserve it, can't you?
Yeah, I think you could. Yeah, I don't see why you couldn't.
Yeah.
It's a nice spot.
Yeah. Well, it being acrylic paint, unless you have it outside in the weather or exposed to like, you know, really kind of extreme changes, I think the acrylic paint itself would be pretty good at hanging on to glass.
He said it was glass paint, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it is. Yeah, it's acrylic based.
Yeah, it's an acrylic-based paint that they make to put on glass.
Okay. Beautiful.
I love it.
Yeah.
Very-
Now, just by the way, since we're on this subject, you could actually take oil paint, okay, and you could do the same thing, keeping it transparent, and you can actually get almost an effect like stained glass.
Huh. Interesting.
Okay. And in fact, during the arts and crafts period, a lot of times they would do these faux stained glass windows rather than actually doing like real glass. And they would use oil paint that had been like thinned down with like a medium, like linseed oil and stuff. And they would paint those areas out and then just let them slowly dry. And then after that was dry, they would come back in with a dark gray or black opaque paint and do sort of the separations and outlines to make it look like stained glass.
Okay. Well, what's interesting when you see this thing in person, it has a little bit of a 3D effect to it. I don't know why, but I mean, I suppose what you could do, you could paint on both sides of the glass and give it that. I didn't think about it at the time, but you could take the background and paint on the back and then put foreground, put whatever subject image you wanted to.
Yeah, you could, as long, your foreground would have to be opaque.
Right.
Yeah. So, you know, I've done a couple of projects where I've done backlit signs. You know, so this is signs with like the light inside of it, so they light up at night, the whole sign.
Right. Yeah.
And one of the issues with that is you really got to, you've almost got to cut a stencil, and then you've got to spray an opaque white paint to block out, you know, a lot of the background color from coming through.
Okay.
And then you can put your color on top of that. And then of course, anywhere you want transparent, you just don't put that white, and so it's totally transparent. But you can, you know, you can do nice backlit signs that way. It doesn't work with you know, when you're putting that opaque white, it doesn't work with a brush because, yeah, when you backlight it, every brush stroke shows up.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so I would use, you know, I'd cut a stencil and I'd go on the back side of the glass and I'd put the stencil down. I'd spray out the area that I was going to put the design on in this opaque white. And then I'd come back to the front side, and that's where I would paint the color and put like layers of transparent color on it. And that way, when it was lit up, you know, you didn't have like this background texture that was showing through your design at night. So anyhow, you got the couple up here. You know.
See, now we're talking about real pornography now.
No, actually, we're not.
I know. I'm being sassy.
Yeah. Okay. But no, I mean, you know, it's a nice kind of loving pose. You know, you've got
his hand is over her mouth.
Well, he's got it around her neck.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
that's what I got to work on is the
her
definition of his hand.
Yeah. Her mouth is up here. You don't really.
I see it now, but I went, wait a minute.
Yeah. But yeah, it's the fingers and things need to kind of wrap around her neck. Okay. Gently wrap around her neck. Okay. Otherwise, it looks like, you know, you might be trying to choke her. You don't want to do that either.
Could you close up her face?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, you don't really get much of her face because it's really foreshortened. Her head is back. So you really just kind of
it's his hand. His hand is over her face.
No, his hand is over her neck, her chin is right here and her face is really right up here.
Yes.
See, because it's like her head is all the way back, so you really don't see much of it.
Right. Where's his legs?
I don't
Behind the
know.
cushion.
What's he doing? Kneeling or I don't know.
Looks like
No.
he's shutting her up.
No, he's standing. He's standing behind the cushion.
You see, the females see something different than the males.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
I
he's kinda
see he's
behind
shutting her up.
Okay.
Except it's on her neck.
There's
Charles.
a line there. I know. I'm talking about. There's a line there that looks like he's with the knee.
That's her neck, as Charles said.
See that line where it's under his hand, and it looks like a part of a leg and a knee, but if he's behind, okay, then I think that line for the should be more pronounced in the back of the.
Which line are you talking about?
I'm talking about, okay, it's almost like a triangle space between.
Right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the way it is. And that bothers me because I'm thinking, well, maybe it's a knee over there or whatever, but it doesn't look like he's behind because of that line. Because if he's standing behind, there shouldn't be a line slanting like that.
Why?
And be more pronounced with the back of the table if he's behind.
Well, he could probably take and emphasize the line or the edge of the table and separate out the two of these, or he could darken this area so it sits further back than the surface of the cushion or
the table, and it looks like part of his figure.
Well, this triangle,
like the leg that's coming out.
right? But see this right here, that is part of his leg or his hip or something. And then this is the table or the cushion that she's sitting on. And again, what I'm saying is separate out the value, make this darker, let this be what it is. And that way they don't look like they're all the same thing and flat.
Because it looks like there's that curve as you go down that line, okay, there's a curve. And that's when I thought maybe he was kneeling on the table or stand. That curve.
Yeah, I read it as he's behind the cushion, she's on the cushion.
The hand bothers me over her face.
Yeah.
Bothers me too. It looks like he might want to break her neck.
Yes. That hand is bothering me.
Yeah. Well, that's
But
what
his
I was
hand
saying.
is not over her face. His hand is not over her face.
It's,
her
yeah,
neck.
it's around her
His thumb is
neck.
close,
Yeah.
His thumb is close to her ear.
Her head is tilted way back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he could snap her neck really quick.
That's right. He's going to snap her neck.
I think females see something for the males.
He looks like he's preparing to kiss her.
That's what he looks like to me.
Oh, yes.
Well, that's kind of the way I read it. But my comment about
Bob, look what you started.
Yeah, my comment about the hand bob is, again, spend a little bit of time drawing hands, and try to put your hand around something, and look in a mirror and photograph it, like something like around a coffee can or a bottle or something, so you can see how the fingers separate and move around a round form.
I see where she's looking at him.
Yes, she is.
Now I see she's looking at him.
She is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see this as him perpetrating any violence against her. It's like I said, it looked like a loving embrace, So she wants to kiss him. So all right.
As I look at the bottom, the lower part of that trunk that she's on, the edge of it at where her legs are don't seem to line up from the edge that's behind her. It seems like it's lower or something.
Yeah. It's
Well, basically, there was like a cushion So when she's sitting on it, she's sitting down into it a little bit. She's pushing it down from the, it's not just a hard surface.
Yeah.
But the back line, that would be affected by that pushing down too?
Right
The
here?
back part.
Yeah,
No,
yes.
no, behind her.
Over
Right,
here?
that part.
Huh?
That part. The edge of the ottoman or whatever it is.
Right here.
That, nope, right there.
Needs to be higher.
Doesn't line up with the one up
No, it
toward left side. It
Yeah.
doesn't
It
look
doesn't. You're right.
right
You
there.
got that. You're
Yeah,
absolutely correct.
It could kind of come a
Is
little
it
higher.
raining?
I will fix that. Thank you.
Anyway, yeah. All right. Well, are we ready to move on now?
Very controversial there, Bob.
There you go.
Glad it was you, not me, Bob.
I was just trying to keep up with you, Larry.
Oh, you surpassed me, Bob.
There we go. All right. So then we have, okay, so we have actually, this is the dock and stuff up at Lake Martin. Okay, I can mark
Yes.
it.
Yeah. With the modified dock.
Yeah. 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 You got the idea down. And then, of course, there's the
Hey,
peninsula sticking out there.
yeah, I'm listening to Charles' class on Zoom.
Yeah, we're listening to you too. How you doing,
Oh,
Marlene?
Charles can hear me. I'm fine. I just had to answer the phone. Sorry, Charles.
Okay, can you mute yourself while you talk to the phone, please?
I
Okay.
will.
Oh.
This is what you went into this last week, this ink wash.
Yeah.
This is what I've attempted to do here, is that the ink wash.
Okay. Yeah. But it's beginning to work for you. Are you gonna put any kind of value or tone here on the
Yes,
land?
yeah. I just started to work on the background and haven't got it.
Okay.
Haven't
Yeah,
got it yet. I mean, the emphasis is on the trees and the dock, really.
Yeah, right up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of figured that you weren't finished with this yet.
No.
But okay, so you got a good start on it. I'd like to see it as it develops. Now, when you're putting those washes and things down, be real careful not to get too dark too fast.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's, you can always make it a little darker. You cannot make it lighter.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's the problem with ink is, yeah, it's like once you go too far, you've just gone too far and you can't come back. So.
Unless it's permanent.
Okay. Then we have Betty, and Betty did some figures that are pretty reminiscent of actually kind of some of the things that Naomi was doing.
Yeah.
But she took it off that figure that I had sent you guys, as a reference, and she simplified it. She's broken it down into some really nice kind of abstract shapes. And even if you didn't want to keep it as a figure, just working with the shapes and the proportions in here, you could make a really, really nice abstract painting out of all that. And Betty, are you here?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you did several and you used different color variation.
Yes.
And is this like a color pencil?
It's color pencils, yes.
Okay. Yeah. And they're really nice for a study. Now, this is a little more like a figure where these, and the thing I like about like these are, you can recognize the source that they came from, but I like the fact that you're distorting proportions and things in here. And I guess my comment here would be, I want to see you take the color even further, I mean, here,
to the page.
You really broke up the color and it's really unrelated to the figure, and it's just color areas. And if you're really going to go like really abstract, then really make the colors different. Really kind of, don't worry so much about, if they sit in relation to each other the way. Yeah, Marlene, again, can you mute yourself?
I'm trying to get out of here.
You and your conversation are becoming part of the class. But anyway, you can push that back, or you or you could pull this forward, just by changing and, using the color a little bit differently. Okay.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah, but I like kind of where you're going with it. And then we talked about your portrait.
Right.
Unless you want to talk about it again.
No.
No. Okay. All right. Well, guys, it is actually 3:30. We went through everybody's work, everything that you guys sent me. Is anybody missing anything? They didn't see something that they had sent? Okay. So we will be back here on Wednesday at 11 o'clock, right?
I won't be here at 11, but I'll Wednesday, but I try and be here too.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll be here both times. So
Okay.
yeah, we're not going anywhere. And so again, if you guys are working on this challenge thing and you've got like thumbnails, things like that, go ahead and send them in. Let's kind of look at the process you're going through and what you're playing with. And again, it's like you're going to get, a lot of different feedback, from different people and get a reaction to what you're doing. And then you can either use that, based on what, the feedback you got, or you can keep moving in the direction that you want to move in. Okay.
Charles, since it's a challenge, do we get a prize? Is somebody going to win?
Well, you all win.
That's right.
See, that's the thing. It's the challenge is that can you push yourself and come up with something that's unique and different and kind of help you move toward really kind of finding out who you are as an artist.
Okay, no prize, all right.
Oh, that's not a prize? Oh, okay. I thought that was a prize, but okay. All right. Why?
Yeah.
Why do you want me to send you a gift certificate for a lunch or something?
Would be great. Sure.
Yeah.
I'll accept it.
There we go.
Send all of us one.
There we go. Yeah. Actually, well, yeah. I can't really.
Things to eat.
Yeah, I can't really suggest that because this is a full county class. But I was going to say we could all get together, but right now would not be a great time to do it.
Mm.
No plain air.
Yeah, but at
Yeah.
some time in the hopefully somewhat near future, sometime maybe in the middle of 2021, we need to do that. We all need to get together, in a place, even
Plain
if we
air
have,
class.
well, even if we have to stay 6 feet apart, and actually, meet each other. Okay.
Sounds nice.
Yeah, because a lot of you I've never met in person. I've just known you from online. Most, a lot of you only know me from online. So I'm this head wearing this hat, online stuff. Anyway, but yeah, I would like that. I'd like to get together and actually, actually see everybody. Okay.
We'll put that on our to-do list.
That's right. That'll be our one of our to-dos. Okay. And I'll work on that, who wins a prize thing. Okay. All right.
Our ribbon.
Yeah, right. There you go.
Hey, it could happen. Okay. All right. Anyhow, we will see you guys on Wednesday. Till then, have
Bye,
fun.
everybody.
Stay safe.
Thank you, Charles.
Yes.
Thank
Don't,
you.
Everybody.
Bye-bye.
don't go out and get tattoos, okay?
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All
Too
right.
late.
Too late? All right. Bye.